Even if every second on TV is meticulously planned and precisely controlled, there are always TV moments that were not planned that way and that just shock you. In this video, we therefore present you today 10 shocking TV moments that just went way too far. Included are natural disasters that took place during live broadcasts, celebrities who completely misbehaved, and even armed robberies of TV studios that were actually in the middle of a live broadcast. It's going to be extremely exciting, so stay tuned here at Wonderlane. For number 9, we travel straight back to 1989. In that year, one of the most devastating natural disasters of all time was recorded in San Francisco, even though no one had expected it. The images from this live broadcast were actually intended for a baseball game in the American World Series. But what happened just a few minutes into the game terrified millions of viewers. During the game, San Francisco was hit by a short but violent earthquake with a magnitude of 6.9.
Second base, so the Oakland A's take.
I'll tell you what, we're having an earthquake.
Within seconds, the entire city was thrown into chaos and countless buildings were destroyed. The baseball stadium was also affected, which ultimately led to a natural disaster of this magnitude being broadcast live on television for the first time in the long history of TV in the USA. On number 8, we continue with a fortunately less destructive but extremely wacky moment that happened some time ago on the British version of X Factor. And it was thanks to a 33-year-old contestant who wanted to sing a version of Britney Spears' global hit Till the World Ends. For this, the candidate came on stage not only with a hairstyle extremely similar to that of Britney Spears, but also a very skimpy outfit, which is usually only known from the music videos of the American singer. However, anyone who thinks that this is a 1A performance in the style of Britney Spears is very much mistaken. Rather, the candidate shocked pretty much every viewer in front of the TV sets as well as in the studio itself. And even though many found this performance extremely entertaining, in the end the jury had to say relatively firmly that this candidate is not necessarily what they are looking for on X Factor. Let's continue with a moment that kept the entire Austrian public in suspense in 2012. And that because a famous German rapper had behaved extremely badly in front of running TV cameras. We're talking about none other than Saito, who at the time was a jury member on the casting show Chili, which was all about finding new musical talent. While Saito always behaved impeccably in his position as a jury member, there was a moment after a broadcast that was hotly debated afterwards. The Berlin rapper got into a discussion with the show's host Dominik Heinzel. After some word fights and hard insults of Saito against Heinzel's mother, it came however then to the eclat. Without prior notice, Saito punched Heinzel in the face, knocking him to the ground. Since the TV cameras had filmed everything and Saito was left looking pretty stupid, the station had no choice but to part ways with its celebrity jury member. On number 6, we come to a fierce dispute that took place on the biggest stage in sports in 2006 and was watched live on TV by millions of people. At the time, Germany and Argentina were playing in the quarterfinals of the World Cup for one of the coveted semifinal spots. However, after the match ended in favor of the DFB team after a dramatic penalty shootout and the team actually wanted to celebrate with the tens of thousands of fans in Berlin's Olympic Stadium, a scandal broke out. Without any warning, the Argentine team instigated a mass brawl that resulted in tumultuous scenes. Not only was the manager of the German national team Oliver Bierhoff hit in the face, Torsten Frings even defended himself so strongly that he also dangerously hit an Argentine and was therefore suspended for the rest of the tournament. Next, we come to a curious protest action that went viral on Spanish television some time ago. Namely, a model wanted to set a sign for equality live on TV and make sure that nudity is just as accepted for women as it is for men. For this reason, she undressed in the middle of a talk show and covered only the most necessary of her body. But if you now think that this action will completely upset everyone in the studio, you'd better look twice. In fact, this protest does not seem to bother the moderator or the other guests, and they continued the show normally. This action was very much discussed afterwards, especially on the internet, because it tested the limits of Spanish television again. Next, we come to a clip that shows that political debates on television do not always have to be civilized. In 2014, the two journalists Shaker al-Johari and Mohammed al-Jayoussi discussed very passionately possible solutions to the terrible conflict in Syria. The two did not necessarily come to the same denominator, which is why the situation escalated extremely within a very short time. So anyone who believes that political debates between renowned journalists always proceed in a civilized manner should probably reconsider their opinion in this regard. On number 3, we come to the British TV show Debate Your Fate, where the two hosts Sean Klitzner and Samantha Shasher have been discussing social issues since 2014. Compared to other talk shows, Debate Your Fate has a winner after each discussion who gets to spin a wheel of fortune with punishments. In one of the first episodes from 2014, therefore, there was this moment that went much too far in the eyes of many.
Oh my God, I'm lifting up, Sean! Ow! This is a wedgie!
Before we get to number 1, and thus a truly spectacular TV moment, we have a sad moment from German television on number 2. which tragically changed the German TV landscape forever in 2010. That year, a young man named Samuel Koch competed on Wetten Das, with a spectacular bet that ultimately almost cost him his life. He tried to somersault over oncoming cars while wearing shoes with springs. The accident that happened then is probably known to everyone and caused Samuel Koch to suffer paraplegia. To this day, Koch is therefore dependent on a wheelchair and has had to completely reorganize his life. For many, this accident was a tremendous shock, as they could not believe how German TV station ZDF could allow such a dangerous stunt in the first place. Last but not least, we now come to a moment on number 1 that held millions of television viewers in the USA in suspense in 1987. At that time, the following happened.
We have someone on the set who's standing here and would like me to read this copy which was just handed to me.
In this live broadcast, an armed man was seen sneaking up behind host David Horowitz and forcing him to read something aloud. But as if that wasn't crazy enough, everything got even weirder when Horowitz finally read out the statement. The note, in fact, said that the armed intruder wanted to tell the whole world that he was actually a CIA-created clone on the trail of a grand conspiracy. After Horowitz read out this absurdity, the intruder put the gun aside and said that it was only a toy gun. But this did not save him from being arrested and taken away by the police immediately after the action. And that's it for our video and 10 unbelievable TV moments that went way too far. Let us know in the comments which one you found the most outrageous. Otherwise, like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to Wonderlane for more cool content, and we'll see you next time here at Wonderlane.